talking about our 80 years of celebrating our business. I'm so excited. Well, Melanie, just to complete what we were saying before going live, in my days, we had a lot of dirty jokes with the seal, tight seal, but we'll skip that. All right. Welcome to age. I don't know what it is. Even my dentist once, he was doing me a root canal and he says, the joke about the seal. And I'm looking at it. That's the beauty of being around 80 years, right? Okay. So this podcast, again, if you're coming for motivation, this is not it. Inspiration is not it. This is a transformational podcast. And let me tell you, today, it's going to be transformational. Oh my God. Many of you, many of you listening in hashtag replay, you're going to really have to go deep. And it's going to be almost like, that's not true. I'm not responsible. Yes, you are. Everything you do, you are responsible. And that is one of the 11 attributes, number 10, of phenomenal leadership. Leadership as a parent, leadership as a husband or wife, leadership in your community, leadership in your business, leadership in your role as an employee. I mean, this is it, okay? So I'm going to bring you the emotional leadership, the real life stories, the failures, the breakthroughs, and practical transformational recommendations on my part. And I know for all of you that have a bigger ego, maybe a little narcissistic, you're saying, no, that's not me. No, yes, it's you, okay? So always remember this, when you're pointing a finger, Melanie, Marie-Pierre, 1, 2, oh, my nails are still nice. Did you look at that? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of those fingers come back to me. Hello. Even the hand says it all, okay? So Melanie is going to bring the scientific side, the psychology behind it all, because leaders that don't take responsibility, no one will trust you. No one will follow you. So as of today, when everything goes wonderful, it's thanks to them. When it's a mess or there's a mistake, it is mea culpa, mea culpa, mea culpa. I think that's Latin. Not really Italian. I don't know. Anyways, okay. So I really want you to dive in. And of course, Marie-Pierre, I love her because she does bring the 2x4. She just does it so sweet. But if you really listen to how she's questioning you, she's like going like this. And I say sometimes, maybe you have to be a little bit more direct. So some of them will say, oh, that's me, and not, no, that's not me, okay? But, she's Marie-Pierre. She does what she does best, is being cute and very delicate, which I'm not. So this is why we make a great team together. But ladies and gentlemen, she's got her voice back. Let's go share to everybody you know that it says it's not their fault. Somebody took my keys. Somebody moved my passport. Somebody took my... Recognize anybody? Go share the podcast. Marie-Pierre, over to you.
Okay, so let's share. So you have the arrow just beside where you write your comments, so you can share on every social media platform. But also you have the text in the comment that you can copy paste so people understand why they should listen to the podcast this morning. And if you have someone in mind that really needs to hear this one, share it directly by messenger, by text message. That's the best way to make sure that they will click on the link and listen to the podcast this morning. And then we have our contest, Les Millionnaires des Diamants. So this morning we announce our winner for the month of April.
Yeah.
So everyone, we're on Thursday. Every time that you go on our Facebook group, Les Millionnaires des Diamants Inspirational Group, every time you post, every time you comment, every time you react, you gain points during the month to be in the top 10 contributor of the group. And at the end of the month, the official top 10 get a voucher to go shop at the boutique Les Millionnaires des Diamants. So congratulations to our top 10 of April. Number 10, Louise Florent. Number 9, Marie Larose. Number 8, Sherry Novak. Number 7, Nadia Bonhomme. Number 6, Nathalie Brochu. Number 5, Annabelle Hébert. Number 4, 4, Ken Racing. Number 3, Lise Boucher. Number 2, Louise Gauthier. And number 1, Martinez. So congratulations for
Yes.
our top 10 for the month of April. And then we have a draw at the end of each month. So how to be in the draw? Every time that you go on the Boutique Millionnaires de Diamants, you place your order, you take a picture, you receive your order, you take a picture, and you post on social media always with and tagging Les Millionnaires de Diamants to be in the draw. And then with the books, Les Millionnaires de Diamants, same thing. You receive one of the book, you take a picture, you're reading one of the book, you take a picture, you're doing another quiz book, you take a picture, you're using the agenda, you take a picture. And every time you go post on social media and you tag Les Millionnaires de Diamants to be in the draw at the end of the month. And our winner for the month of April, it's Valérie Lapense.
No, really, Valerie, Valerie. Are we doing posters like our superstars, Martin Noël, superstar Valérie Lapensée?
Yeah, now that it's announced, we're gonna do the post to announce on the VIP on the group and on the page our winner for the month of April. So yes, and last thing, if you don't already have your ticket for the next conference, it's time to register now. So you have
There's
the
still
link.
people that
Click.
don't have their tickets.
Yes, there's still some people that don't
Can
have
we
their
send
ticket.
them an email
Yes, we're gonna
like
send an
Maxwell?
email to.
And if they click now, they get a surprise gift or something because people procrastinate. It's not that they don't want to go to a conference. Oh, yeah, yeah, it's true. I have to inscribe for the conference. Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot to inscribe for the con. Like,
And then there's some people, oh no, I forgot to register for the conference. Okay, so if you missed the one in April, you missed the one in January, you can watch it in replay. So on the same link, you can get your ticket for the next one and then get the ticket for to watch the replay of January and April so you can watch it even if it's already done. So voilà, click on the link and get your ticket now.
that's it. We're ready to rock and roll. Okay. So who do you know out there that says it's not their fault? Melanie, me, we can say our husbands. Ha 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 ha. I got this running joke in my house. In French, we say quelqu'un, quelqu'un, somebody, somebody moved your keys again. Oh my gosh, somebody stole your yogurt. Oh my gosh, somebody took your granola bar. Somebody took your socks. Anyways, I have fun. It gets them angry though, but I have fun. I have fun. So the moment we stop blaming, now we start becoming unstoppable. Today's subject may be one of the most life-changing leadership principles you will ever hear. Because the moment somebody stops blaming, they become unstoppable. Now, let me begin with something because I really want to position you. I really want to bring you to every day. Okay, have you ever heard, I can't believe the school system. That's why my child is struggling. That's why my child is being bullied. That's why. And I'm allowed to say it because I had a child that was bullied. I had a child that was struggling. So I can tell you, okay, take responsibility. I can't believe the economy. That's why my business isn't growing. I can't believe the social media algorithms. That's why nobody's seeing my posts. Nobody's seeing my lives. I can't believe my husband. That's why I'm always stressed out. He's always late everywhere. I can't believe the company. Again, a changed system. That's why I lost all my team. I can't believe the government. That's why life is so hard. And maybe some of these things might be true. But here's the problem. The moment we keep the blame going there, out there, out there, out there, out there, okay, we hand away our power. That's what I really want you to walk away today. I mean, I could stop the podcast right now and tell you that's the problem. So take back your power, because if they are responsible for everything, then we can change nothing. This is basically what we are saying. So drop me a few of your comments, please. Like me saying this right now, how is it resonating with you? Okay, positively or negatively. I love to read your comments once Melanie Miller comes on. Okay, and this is one of the most dangerous places a human being can live. You see, people think leadership is about charisma. It's about work ethic. It's about, no, not at all. People think that leadership is about perfection. Not at all. People don't trust perfect leaders because they will say there's something wrong with them. They trust leaders who take ownership. Let me repeat this. If you're writing down something, people trust leaders who take ownership. People trust leaders who take ownership. One more time, Maria. They trust leaders who take ownership. I love it. And I want to tell you something very honestly today. I was not raised with this mindset. It's a decision that I made because I'm continuously in personal development program. Even the way I run my Tupperware business, it's actually a personal development program with a paycheck. I started when I was 18 with my first book, which was Og Mandino, The Greatest Salesman of the World. And the title is so off because that's not at all what that book is. It's actually the 10 virtues of an incredible leader. That's what it should have been called. But back in the days, that's what they called it. And for me, it's still one of the best books somebody starting their journey in personal development should read. Okay. And I want to tell you that I just raised my mindset to another level because I worked on me. I built this mindset over the years, over mistakes and mistakes and mistakes. I built this mindset over the pain I've suffered in the past, over losing people I really loved in my business, over failing many, many times, and over reflecting and saying, okay, how could this have gone differently if I'd taken responsibility? And one of the greatest lessons I ever learned was this: when the team wins, you've got to give them credit, Maria. That's how I learned to do things with time, with the intentionality of working on my best version of myself, being a better leader. But when the team loses, I need to take responsibility. So the team failed. Why? Why did the team fail? And I know exactly today when they fail, why I was at fault, and when they're successful, why are they need to get the credit for it, right? And I know that sounds a little bit cold, but I'll explain. Give me a few moments. The moment your people know you will not humiliate them, the moment they know you will not throw them under the bus, the moment they know they can fail safely around you, they begin to trust you. They become vulnerable with you. They tell you the truth. They become coachable. They feel emotionally protected. And I believe this is one of the reasons we have one of the highest levels of longevity in a multi-level marketing business. Every time I talk to somebody that's another multi-level marketing business, to see so many people over 10 years in this business is mind-boggling to them. Okay. Now, let me give you real examples. Years ago, Tupperware completely changed the business model, 2006 to be precise. Everything started moving online, internet, technology, digital system. And we lost over 50% of our sales force. Now, I could have blamed the company. I could have said the new system ruined everything I had built. There they go. Merci, merci. Love these people. Everything I had built, I could have said that, but I didn't. Already in 2006, I had developed my leadership skills, taking responsibility. I had a friend in Ontario, another business leader, who he was in computers, whatever. And he had the same aging sales force as mine. And they exploded in growth in 2006, whereas us in August 2006, we barely even made director numbers, 12,500. And I remember the moment it hit me really, really hard. The difference was not the company. The difference was the leadership. His leadership versus mine. She prepared her people for the future. She was already coaching them from 2 years ago when the company said we will be going digital by this time, what computers to get, et cetera, et cetera. I had not done any of that because I wasn't competent myself in that field. So I didn't prepare my team and even less myself, right? And I remember apologizing to my team. I told them, I regret not preparing enough to prepare you for what was coming. All my directors in that month of August had not lost, but had to pay for their vehicles because they hadn't made their numbers. And I managed to get a credit to all of them because I was responsible for them not doing their numbers. Taking responsibility gave me back my power. And I really believe it was that year that people like Annie Marchand, I'll tell you who was left, Annie Marchand, Pauline Fortier, and José Hainaut really trusted me because I took responsibility. Now, two of them retired because we're much older than Annie Marchand, and Annie is still here. Right after Nicole, we have Annie with over 20 years in the business. So from that moment, taking responsibility gave us our power back, my power back, and we went to 4 million, 8 million, over 20 million, because blame keeps you stuck. Responsibility makes you creative. Okay. Now, on a personal note, and I want to close off with that, is I have 3 children and we're very old fashioned, whatever. So Hamid, he's my firstborn. He's always been allowed to do whatever he wants because he's a man. Now, if any of you have that same mentality, I would love to see it in the chat that I'm not the only one. Anyways, not like that anymore today, but that's how it was. Unfortunately, my daughter Nadia, my first female born, the environment was not safe. It was judgmental. It was controlling. It was our way, Mohammed and my way, or the highway. So Nadia adapted to survive emotionally. And when I changed, so she lied, she lied, she lied, she lied, she lied. But when I changed, everything changed. Now compare that to my youngest daughter, Yasmin, who has never lied. Why? What happened between the two? Well, we changed as parents. We became different parents with a different leadership without being judgmental. It would be more like, if it was me, but it's up to you. So Yasmin never ever lied. I remember she was like just a little child still. She was sitting on the park bench and I said, how come you're here alone? Where's your sister? Where's Marina? Where's Samantha? And she goes, I can't tell you, because she wouldn't snitch, right? She wouldn't snitch, but she wouldn't lie. So at the end of the day, what I'm telling you here, taking responsibility, you will be a better mother, a better father, a better wife, a better husband, a better leader. You will be at peace. And it's truly transformational to be in control and know, if I created this, I can undo this. Now, there is a scientific explanation behind all of this, and I'm going to leave you in the hands of Melanie Miller.
Thank you, Maria. So we're continuing to look at the final leadership attributes as described by Napoleon Hill. Today, we're looking at something that is fundamental to leadership, as Maria told us. A leader must be willing to assume full responsibility. This quality is very easy to observe in life. Some people naturally step forward when things go wrong, others immediately step backward. Some people say, what can I do to fix this? While others immediately look for someone to blame. And what is interesting is that there is a great deal of science behind why people respond differently to responsibility. When we're talking about taking responsibility, we're really talking about several brain systems working together. One of the most important is the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision making, self control, long term thinking, moral reasoning, accountability. A mature, well regulated prefrontal cortex allows a person to pause and think. What part did I play in this? What can I learn? How do I move forward? In other words, responsibility requires self awareness. But there's another system in the brain that often interferes. That is the threat detection system centered around the amygdala. When people feel criticized, exposed, embarrassed, or afraid of failure, the brain can interpret responsibility as danger. And once that happens, people often move into self protection mode. Instead of learning, they begin defending. Instead of reflecting, they begin blaming. This is why some people instinctively say, it wasn't my fault. Nobody told me. The system failed. Other people caused the problem. Because psychologically, blame protects the ego. For a short moment, it reduces comfort, but there is a cost. One of the most important differences between strong leaders and weak leaders is this. Strong leaders ask, what can I do differently? Weak leaders ask, who can I blame? Over time, this creates completely different lives. Responsibility creates growth. Blame creates stagnation. When a person accepts responsibility, the brain stays engaged in problem solving mode. The prefrontal cortex remains active. The person learns, adjusts, improves. When blame dominates, the brain stays emotionally defensive, and defensive brains do not grow well. Now, this becomes especially important in leadership because leaders do not only affect themselves, they affect the nervous system of everyone around them. When people constantly receive messages of blame, criticism, or emotional unpredictability from a leader, the brain begins to move into stress mode. The amygdala activates, cortisol rises, people become more anxious and less creative. They stop taking risks. They stop being honest. They become more focused on protecting themselves than solving problems. In fact, research shows that environments dominated by blame reduce innovation, trust, and performance. Why? Because the brain does not perform at its best when it feels unsafe. People begin hiding mistakes rather than fixing them, and eventually the whole culture becomes defensive. Now, compare that to a leader who takes responsibility, a leader who says, "We made a mistake. Let's learn from this. How do we improve?" That creates psychological safety. And psychological safety is one of the strongest predictors of high performing results. Because when people feel safe, they contribute more, they communicate honestly, they share ideas, they admit mistakes early, they collaborate more effectively. A responsible leader creates calm instead of panic, growth instead of fear, solutions instead of excuses. Interestingly, neuroscience also suggests that responsibility increases a person's sense of control. Control is deeply connected to emotional stability. When people believe they have influence over their lives, the brain experiences less helplessness and less chronic stress. This is why responsibility is actually empowering even when circumstances are difficult. Because responsibility says, I may not control everything, but I control my response. And that is where leadership begins, at work and at home. Perhaps this is why Hill considered this such an important leadership attribute. Leadership is not really revealed when things are going well. It is revealed when things go wrong, when mistakes happen, when pressure rises, when uncertainty appears. That is when true leaders step forward, not to protect their ego, not to find someone to blame, but to assume responsibility, create stability, and move everyone forward. And perhaps that is one of the greatest gifts a leader can give to a team, the feeling that no matter what happens, someone is willing to take ownership, learn, adapt, and lead the way forward. Now let's hear from Marie Pierre, who's going to let us know what sort of responsibility takers we are. Over to you, Marie Pierre.
Love it. Thank you, Melanie. So, yes, it's time for the quiz because most people don't think the blame is something like, oh, I have no time, or oh, nobody supports me. But they think blame is, oh, because I say it's your fault. But blame is much quieter. So, yeah, when you say, oh, I had no time to do that. Oh, the algorithm hates me. People today don't want to work. I would have succeed if blah, blah, blah. And little by little, that blame protects your ego, but it will destroy your growth because blame will give relief in the moment, but responsibility will create the result. So we want to look in the mirror and be honest with ourselves and see where the blame may still be running our lives. So let's start this quiz so you can answer A, B, or C for each question. So question number one, you can't find your keys and you're late. So what happened? A, you said, who moved my keys? Who moved my keys? Or B, you say, oh, I'm always disorganized. Or C, okay, where did I put them last time? Question number 2. You feel like nobody is helping you. So what is your reaction? A, just saying nobody supports me and just complaining. B, maybe people just don't realize that I need help. Or C, you said, did I clearly communicate what I need? Question number 3. You say that you have no time to build on your goals, but this week you spend hours scrolling, watching video, or just being distracted. So what happened internally? A, life is too busy. B, I know I waste some time. Or C, I need to take ownership of how I manage my time. Question number 4. You post on social media and you realize that your post gets low engagement. So what do you think? A, the algorithm hates me. B, maybe social media is harder right now. Or C, have I been consistent, intentional, and variable enough in the last weeks? And question number 5, you explain something and the person still doesn't understand. So what happened in your head? A, oh, people never listen. B, maybe they weren't focused. Or C, how could I communicate this more clearly? So did you get mostly A's, mostly B's, or mostly C's? So if you have it mostly A, you are giving away your power externally because you react quickly, you blame circumstances, and you focus heavily on what other people are doing wrong. So that creates that frustration. Again, your stall growth, and you have that victim mentality. So now you think that blame protects your ego, but it's really limiting your growth. So the next step would be to replace blame with one question. What is my responsibility right now? What is my responsibility in that situation? Now, if you have mostly B, you are aware but inconsistent. So you recognize responsibility intellectually, but emotionally, you still drift into excuse and or passivity. So you understand the concept, but you try to improve and sometimes take ownership, but not consistently. So that creates that slower progress and sometimes emotional confusion and inconsistent leadership. So and that awareness without ownership will change nothing. So it's time to take that awareness and put it with ownership and really understand what is taking responsibility and practice it daily. So you want to move from understanding to practicing. And if you have it mostly C, now you have a responsible leadership. So you understand that truth of leadership that you cannot always control the situation, but you can always control your response. So you take ownership, you reflect honestly, you adjust, and you stay solution focused. So that will create that trust, that resilience, and growth. So now it's time to be an example for people around you. So 5 steps to practice it daily. Number 1, catch the blame. So today, notice if you say, oh, because of that, or because of that. Oh, I didn't have time to do that. Oh, but. So catch yourself saying one of those things. Step number 2, you want to interrupt the pattern. So when you realize that you are saying it, okay, pause and ask yourself, what part of this belongs to me? Step number 3, take that one ownership action. So not everything, but one thing. Maybe to say, okay, I take ownership and I do that phone call. I do that follow up. I do one better decision, one honest conversation that I need to have. Then step number 4, you want to stop waiting for the perfect condition because that leadership does not begin when life becomes easier, but that will begin when you take that responsibility. And step number 5, repeat and repeat and repeat until that responsibility becomes your identity because the strongest leader is not the one that never failed, but is the one that always stop blaming and start building. So on that, I wish you a beautiful day and we'll see you tomorrow morning for the next